And guys, I'm so stoked to have our special guest speaker, Shayla Murphy. Shayla and I go way back. I used to be her English teacher in high school when she was in high school. And I don't know, Shayla, I had you several years,
Yeah.
a lot of years. And I loved her then and I love her now. And she is just so inspirational to follow on Facebook. And I gave you guys kind of the rundown of what Shayla is all about, but I know she's going to fill us in a bit on her story too. But Shayla is just recently 21, like a week ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday. And she is a diamond coach. She's only been coaching for 9 months, and she is incredible to follow on social media. She's so authentic and funny, and just she's great to follow. So if you're not following her, you need to be. And she lives out in the Seattle area, but is from Wisconsin. And she's married. She's been married for 2 years and has a couple really cute dogs who make it into a lot of her social media posts. And she's a college student and just pretty much an awesome all-around person. And she so kindly agreed to chat with us on this call about her story and some tips that she has for all of us on how she's developed her biz or whatever she wants to talk about. I just was excited to have her on. And I know especially there's a couple of you who are really young like Shayla is. And I thought you might want to pick her brain a little bit. So I told her to just start by telling us your story and giving us some tips and then open it up for a little Q&A. And I so appreciate you being on the call. So I will just turn it over to you. And this is a fabulous group of ladies. So they're just really easy to talk to. So
Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me, you guys. I'm so flattered, and thank you for the nice introduction. So how I got started with Beachbody, I was one of those easy customers that just said, yeah. Well, actually, I came to my upline coach because she had been posting about it. She was a trainer at the Anytime Fitness in Wanakee, Wisconsin, where I grew up. So I kind of knew of her. And anyway, so I messaged her about the 21-day fix, asking what it was. And she was so swamped I never heard back. So I was like, okay, well, she's too busy. I kind of forgot about it. And then I saw her post about it again. So I messaged her again. I was like, hey, I'm just waiting to hear back from you. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Anyways, she told me all about it. I was like, yep, sign me up, the customer that everyone wants. And then, so I didn't even know about coaching, didn't know anything. And I posted on my Facebook that I'm so excited to start the 21-day fix. And it was totally a coaching post, not knowing, but I was like, does any of my friends want to do it with me? So then I'm referring all these customers to my coach, and she's like, no, I can't take this commission. I referred her 3 girls on the day after I signed up, just because my friends want to do it. So I was like, yeah, go to my coach. This is where I bought it. Anyways, so she's like, no, I don't feel right doing this. These could be your customers. Sign up as a coach. So again, I was like, okay, why not? So I talked to my husband, Ryan, because I don't know if he was overseas or where he was, but he wasn't home, and I couldn't talk to him for a couple days. So I was like, well, let me just tell my husband first, and then I'll make my little Facebook announcement. So I did. I told him that this is what I'm going to do, and he knows that I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, so he's like, okay, whatever. Anyways, so like I said, it was just kind of lickety-split, do this, okay. But I was kind of worried about it because I've always been the skinny friend or the small friend, the thin girl that everyone's like, why are you working out? You're already in shape or whatever, which a lot of you probably know that was so not true. Yeah, I have a petite figure, but I was not in shape. Even now, I'm not a runner like a lot of you are. If I had to run a mile, it would be pathetic. Not that that's the only measure of fitness, but I was not in shape. Anyway, so I was kind of worried that people wouldn't take me seriously because I wasn't going to have a weight loss transformation. I was actually looking to gain weight because I wasn't at a healthy weight necessarily for my height. But that's kind of comes what I'm going to talk about, just being me, being real, and people do trust you. So you don't need to have a big experience or a big transformation physically, because my transformation is largely mental, which many people can appreciate just as much as a physical transformation. So that's kind of how I got started and why I'm here. I'm a notes person. I have notes next to me, but I made a PowerPoint. That's what I've done when I do our own team calls. Is that okay if I share it with you guys? Cool. I'm going to screen share.
Sorry, I was muted. That's awesome. We love it.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so the first question Jess asked me was, what has moved my business forward? And just recently, actually, like she said, I'm a new diamond. So just previous to having gone diamond, I started setting goals. Because they were always kind of hypothetical that, I want to hit Success Club or I want to have this many coaches, but nothing set in stone, just something in my mind. And now I can look back and say, because I didn't want to be held accountable for those goals by anyone else. I was too scared to lay it out there. So I just kept them to myself, like I said, in my head. I didn't even write them down myself. But as soon as I started setting those rock solid goals, that's how you can hit them. The first part is making them a reality by writing them down or telling someone. So that's the first thing. The next thing, I'll go into these next bullet points a little bit more. But like I said, just being me, sharing my story, whatever your story might be, and being raw, being real, just being yourself, because that's why people like you anyways. And just be yourself. That's who people can relate to. You have to be true to you. The next thing, building relationships. At the beginning, I was just so eager because I saw, like I said, I just made a Facebook post if anyone wanted to do it with me, and I had a couple friends essentially give me commission. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of those get rich quick, I'm just going to make so much money. So looking back, I was doing it all wrong the first couple months. So the last couple months, I'm focusing so much on building relationships, like I said, because I knew I burned a couple bridges at the beginning of my coaching career. So now I'm focusing on relationship building, and that has been huge. Next, I would say, is branding myself, and I'll go more into that in a second. Okay. So more about being me and you being you. Like I said, sharing your story is scary, but scary is good. That's where the magic happens, is outside of your comfort zone. So I posted a couple weeks ago, I think, a video of myself talking about my psychological struggles, and I was so scared to post that because it was super vulnerable. I haven't told so many people that are really close to me, but I told the whole Facebook world. Anyways, like I said, so I was so scared, really vulnerable, out of my comfort zone, but the response that I had was, I can't even put it into words. So those things that are scary is what's going to make you grow. Not just grow your business, but make you grow as a person, because that's why we're on this journey and why we're doing this, because we want to grow and be the best version of ourselves, and we want to help other people grow. So scary is good. That's what I have to keep telling myself. And then the next bullet point, this helps so much with your mindset. If you are scared to post something, or you think you might annoy someone, and before you post it, you're thinking, what will they think? Change that thought process. Who will this help? Who will this inspire? You can't worry about one person. Okay, thank you. One person. You don't think, what will they think? Think, who will this inspire? And that just has so much to do with, you probably always hear it, if it can inspire one person, then it was worth it. Let's see. Yeah, so like I said, I used to be so concerned, especially at first, about annoying people. Before I had a like page that, I'm going to lose all these Facebook friends, or I don't want to offend my friends. But I was also came to the realization that if someone is going to be annoyed or not support you, that's not the person that you want with you on your journey anyway, and that's okay. So those people just aren't for you anyway. So they can unlike your page or unfriend you if they don't want to see that. That's okay. But there's people that do. So that's what's worth it. And like I said, I don't have necessarily a big physical transformation, but your story that everyone's asking you to share doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be, like I said, a traumatic experience or a big weight loss transformation. Your story is just who you are and where you come from and why you're here. Like the little tidbit that I told you at the beginning, just a little bit about me. That's a little gist of my story. Because this is how people are going to connect with you. They need to know who you are. Because not every customer is like me, and you ask about the 21-day fix and okay, sign me up. You know that's not usually how it is. So people need to know who you are, but your story doesn't mean something super extravagant, although no matter what your story is, because it's yours, but it doesn't have to be like everyone else's. Let's see. Oh, that too. Maybe you do have a very significant event or a bigger story. And that doesn't necessarily either mean that you have to type up one huge long Facebook post about it saying, here's my story, and just dump your whole life. You can, absolutely, and I can guarantee there's going to be a great response from it. But that could be way too out of your comfort zone. You can crumble information here and there. And it keeps people interested. People are nosy. They want to know about you and they want to know who you are. So if you can crumble the information here and there and just do what's comfortable for you. But it comes down to being transparent, being real, being raw, and being authentic. And that's so much what I know your team is about. I think a lot of you have heard that before. Next, like I said, I focus largely on building relationships. If I'm inviting to a challenge group and they say no, I ask why they're declining. And I obviously have to word that appropriately to not be odd. But I'll say something like, can I ask why you're not interested? I'm so curious to know everyone's views on it. Like, turn it around on them, why aren't you interested? Maybe you can spin it from there that you get down to their real objection and you can turn it into a maybe or a yes. But even if you don't, keep the conversation going. Exactly related to this, not too long ago, a girl that I went to high school with too, she said no to my invitation, which was fine. But we kept talking. I was talking about what she was doing in school and totally unrelated. And by the end of her objection was money, which I totally get. I'm in college too, and I know what it's like to not be able to foot that kind of bill at the spur of a moment. Anyway, so her objection was money. That's fine. We kept talking. That same conversation. And by the end of the conversation, obviously because trust was built and she could tell that I cared about her, she pretty much admitted like, okay, I actually have the money. Can I sign up? So people are they want to build your trust. They want to have your trust, but sometimes you need to work for it. So anyways, keep this conversation going. If you can't, keep interacting with them on their Facebook page later, or check in, a week, a month, however long down the road, not even related to Beachbody or about your groups or the programs, that I'll just keep in touch with them. And another great thing to do, especially if the objection is money, would be to offer a free group. And that's how you build relationships and how you build trust. So
She frozen for you guys? Yeah, you're frozen for us, Shayla.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a slogan or a logo. I thought it did. So I was like, I have to come up with a mom on the run or something like that. Like, the fit student or something. I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm just a normal person, which, like I said, that's what people want to know. But it doesn't have to be an actual logo or a slogan, like I said, just something consistent. Something on my page that I do is a frugal Friday tip, because I'm all about saving money. So that's one of my consistent things that I know my followers look for. And even just my brand that I have 2 dogs and I live in Washington and I love it. So just people knowing who you are. Like I said, your brand is you. Lead with you, not Beachbody. I actually went on Jess's page earlier today to see like the last couple posts. There's nothing about Beachbody. She doesn't, not that she doesn't talk about Beachbody, but she's leading with herself. And obviously it's working. But people relate with you. This last bullet point right here, a different leader on our team said this, and it was so true. Our business is us. Our brand is us. People connect with us. They don't connect with a stock image of the 21-day fix containers. They want to know who you are. We can provide them the tools, but they want you. You make the difference. So your brand is you. Let's see. Oh, so with your brand, I'm not sure how much you guys have talked about this, but like I said, I was so confused on how am I going to brand myself, or what is my brand? And it can be anything. Like I said, your character, your style. I wrote down a bunch of things here. I'll read them quick. Your personality, what image you want to give off. Your promise to your clients. That's really important. Like I said, with building trust. Just how you lead your life, how you treat others. So if you want to kind of come up with a brand, something that I always talk about in my challenge groups is I have everyone tell me all the hats they wear. Like, who are you? What makes you you? And it's as simple as that. If you're a mom or a sister or a son, you wear so many hats, and that's your brand. That's who you are. Okay, so for my like page that was mentioned, something that I've found, I'd always been told about this, but didn't really, I don't know, I guess I didn't take it seriously, or I just didn't try it out, was literally asking for engagement. Asking for opinions or asking for feedback. Jess's posts all the time are a question. They ask for feedback, and if you go in the comments, 20, 30 people commented back because she asked them to. Obviously in a friendly way, but that's the whole point, to be interacting with people. And it's crazy the engagement that you'll get when you ask for it. It's as simple as that. And so my team, the Barbells, is really into like the dynamics of Facebook and the behind the scenes insight that you get. And I guess I'm kind of ignoring that at this point, although it's very important, but and it obviously comes into play. But what matters is the content of your message, because my posts about my husband and my dogs get more traction than my other posts. So anyways, I could post that at a time that isn't very active on Facebook, but it's still going to get the engagement later on because people like what the post is. Even if it wasn't at a super prime time, the content was good, so they still see it and like it or react. So your content is so, so important, obviously. This goes with branding yourself too. The online Shayla and the Beachbody Shayla has to be the same as the real life Shayla. Because that's who you are. You can't be two different people when you're so desperate trying to make a sale or, sign up a coach or something. You have to be you. So it's really important to keep yourself just the same on all those levels, I guess, like I said, online and in real life. And I know it's kind of hard to, I don't know, I was going to say it was hard to express yourself online sometimes, but once you get comfortable with it, it's really not. I feel like I haven't met so many people, the most of my team, but I feel like I know them all so well, all because of our pages and the goofy things that we post that aren't properly, they're not Miss Kennedy approved in her English class. I mean, really, that's, we can type like we talk on Facebook. And that's how people get to know you, if you post like yourself, when it's appropriate, obviously. The other thing, I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure how much you guys have talked about this either, or the insight that you've been given, but what I've chosen to do, as of somewhat recently, how I invite to challenge groups is only through personal invites. I don't invite on my Facebook or on my like page at all. I only personally message people. And my reason for that is they weren't my posts like that said, I have a challenge group coming up, who wants to join me, or along those lines. No one was signing up from those posts anyways. And I didn't feel good posting those things. I felt too salesy, because that's not what I choose to put on my page. I choose to put me on my page. And referrals too, that's a whole nother topic, but personal invites and referrals is how I invite to my challenge groups. Let's see. But if, like I said, I did it and it works, previously I did it and it works for a lot of other people. So if you do promote that way on your like page or your personal Facebook page, you just need to find a balance between the marketing posts and the rest of your posts, your engagement posts, or of you being a product of the product. And that's why I choose not to do that, because on my like page, I'm choosing to build that relationship and build that trust. So then when I do send that private message, they kind of already know who I am, or they have that trust from my like page. Because I want to be their go-to fitness person or their go-to nutrition person. So like I said, I build that trust on my like page. They can get to know me without relating it so much to Beachbody. But then when I personally invite them, they might be interested. But that's just my approach. Different things work for different people. So I went to, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, the Super Saturday in Seattle. It was my first one. It was so awesome. I had to compress these notes so much because I just wanted to share them all with you, but I had to take a couple things from them because our Super Saturday was just so good. Anyways, one of the people there was Monica Ward. She's one of the founding coaches. I didn't know who she was, but I certainly do now. She was a seven-figure earner last year, which is crazy. Anyways, she was one of the first speakers, so it was very cool. And everything she talked about was having a vision. And what was her quote? So having a vision for your business, decide what you want, then create a plan that reverse engineers your path to the plan. And that was so important. That sounds complicated, but it's really actually simplifying it. First, you have your goal, and then you backpedal and figure out the steps to get there. You have to get so in tune with your why. I think this has really been one of the things that pushed my business forward also, is I got in touch with my why I'm doing this, and because this is what is going to help you stick to it on the down days, and just keep you going. And this was the perfect way to put it. When she was talking about your why, you have to be like a little kid to yourself and keep asking why, and then you have your answer. Well, why? Your daughter asks you, why is the sky blue? Well, why? Well, why? You have to get down to it. It can't be anyone else's goal or anyone else's vision for you. You need to get down to your very core of your why. Like I said, this is your motivation day today and how you will stay totally driven on not so good days. This last bullet point, you have to want it more than you don't. Someone asked her, how do you stick with it when you do have crummy days? She just said you have to want it more than you don't. I wanted to help people more than I wanted to chicken out. Or even for your personal goals, I wanted to eat clean more than I didn't want to. And that sounds so simple. I know it's not really that simple when you're applying it, but that really is as simple as it is. You have to want it more than you don't. Let's see. The next speaker we had was Mike Ryan. I also didn't know who he was, but I do now. He's a 15-star diamond coach, so he's very successful. And he had some like bone-chilling points that I had to share. Just give me goosebumps every time I think about it. He asked us, what have you done that matters? And that sounded like kind of rude, or I don't know, he was obviously trying to make us reflect. But his whole point was building substance, like I was talking about on my like page. Building substance, and not for recognition or fame, because you don't pay your mortgage with your diamond rank, and you don't, those things, superstar and elite, those things mean nothing. We were obviously sitting in a room. He said that means nothing outside of this room. And yeah, that was so true. Obviously in the Beachbody world, that's what you're going for. Those things are so cool, but it's a word outside of this room. It doesn't mean anything further than the people on the screen right here. So he was talking about, like I said, substance, and the number of lives changed. That's what matters. That's what matters outside this room. So again, related back to, if you're going to make that happen and you're going to change lives, you have to be real, and you have to be transparent and open to do those things. Like I said, it was so funny. He said, you don't pay your mortgage with your diamond rank. There you go. Okay, this was the other thing that I had my own little team page, and I had to go home right away and like, you guys, this was such perfect wording. So we're always told, or I've heard this saying, I guess, so many times, that by not inviting someone to the coaching opportunity or not inviting them to a challenge group, you're doing them a disservice, which made sense, but I don't know if it didn't like sync with me, or I didn't really think much of it, I guess. It sounded kind of arrogant maybe, I don't know. So this wording was so perfect. He asked us, or told us, I guess, that you could be holding someone's dreams in your mouth. And that's exactly the same thing that he means. Where was it? Oh, that it's no one's job to judge anyone. So when you hesitate to, or if you do judge someone, prejudge them, and you don't reach out to them, or you hesitate to say something, you might be holding their dreams in your mouth. Because, like I said, you have the ability to change people's lives. You really do. And that person next to you could just be waiting for someone like you. They might not know it, but they could be waiting for someone like you. And if you don't open your mouth, you could be holding their dreams in your mouth. And that's such a powerful thing. The next thing, this is kind of backwards, but he also said something that really, really sunk with me, especially lately. He said, put your oxygen mask on before you help others. And that obviously comes down to one of the vital behaviors of personal development. You have to be in the right place before you can help other people, or at least be in the right mindset and on your own journey to a better you, to help people do the same. So again, that was just really great wording that he had. Put your oxygen mask on before you help others. Let's see. Okay, just a couple last things. Other tidbits and tips. This was something that came up on our team page, and it seems so silly, but to take the word just out of your messages. And so there was like this whole article on it. I should have found it so I could give it to you guys. But, excuse me, pay attention to how much you say just, and it will probably be surprising to you that you message someone, hey, just wondering, or just wanted to know. But that teeny little word takes away the value from your message, and it kind of sounds like you think you're bugging them, that, oh, I just want to do this quick. So don't put that into their head that you're, annoying or something. So take that word out and see how the tone of your message changes. Like I said, pay attention to it. It's really interesting. I didn't think I said it that much, but you'll be surprised. Next, this was another great tip from another coach on our team. Before this call, I went through all my team notes, like, oh, what are the best things I can pull out for these guys? And this was one of them. Talk like they're already in the group. If you're inviting someone to a challenge group, So not like this hypothetical thing, like I said at the beginning, when my goals were hypothetical, that if you join me, put it in their head that they're already joining you. So when you're in my group, or once you're doing the program, and then they can picture themselves doing it, and it becomes more real for them too. So just, again, changing a little bit of your wording can change a lot. Next, this is what I tell my downline the whole time, and what I have to tell myself, especially if you're cold calling, cold messaging. What's the worst they can say? As long as you have everything worded respectfully, obviously, you're not going to offend someone in a message, the worst they can say is no. And I'm sure you are trained on how to deal with no's. So that's the worst they can say. What's the worst they can say? You know how to deal with it from there. So just putting your pride aside, not thinking about your ego, and what's the worst they can say? Next, I made a video about this for our team page because I saw so many people. I guess I don't know how I caught onto it, but comparing themselves to other people. And it's so real. It's totally a thing. And it's understandable when you're in a business that's as awesome as this with such successful people. Of course you do it, and that's okay. But it's not okay all the time. And of course, friendly competition like the Team Cup is a great thing. So that kind of comparison can be really constructive and good. But if it's not done with the right mindset, it can be so detrimental. So not only just holding you back, if you spend so much time dwelling on it, it can pull you back even further than just staying stagnant in your business. And that is not what you want, obviously. Excuse me. A quote, I kind of changed it because it was confusing, but don't compare your chapter 4 to someone else's chapter 12. Don't compare your middle to someone else's end. Not that there's an end, but we're all at a different place in our businesses and in our journeys. And that's okay. That's why your business is different from everyone else's, because it's yours. Even if, you and another girl on the team signed up as a coach the exact same day, that's like the one thing that you guys have in common as far as the business. Your life and your other obligations are different, your strengths and your weaknesses, everything is different. Your market, just everything is different, and that's the beauty of this business. But given that, why would you compare yourself to someone else whose business is completely different? Let's see. I guess that was it. That's just something that I wanted to end with, a really important message that you aren't going to get anywhere by wishing you could do what someone else is doing, or wishing you could, have what someone else have what someone else has. So just be you. Like I said, it all comes down to being yourself and being authentic, because that's what people like. People like you, so show them who you are.
Thank you, Shayla. That was I was curious taking notes. So thank you.
Good. Oh, there it is.
Oh, all right, there you go. Okay. Cool. Can we open it up for questions? Is that okay, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Am I like echoing to you guys too? It's annoying. Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Maybe I'll type it.
Okay.
I'll see if I echo. Do I echo too? Maybe, I'm not sure what's going on with yours then, Jess. I just wanted to check to see if it was just the whole thing, so I'm on.
Yeah, I know. How about me? Do I echo?
No.
I'll ask Jessica. So Jessica's question, okay, what does your invite look like, Miss Shayla?
Perfect. And if you want, I can share these with you. I follow a template for everything I can. That's what I did a whole other call on about organization, because my upline coach always pokes fun at me for being like anal retentive about having all my ducks in a row and using like all these tracking systems, but it's how I stay sane. I don't know. My husband in the Army, him being in the Army totally rubbed off on me. I need to have like everything in order. But anyways, so my template or my invite, she said, that's why you were such a good student too. Thank you. Yeah, I guess not much changes with that anyway. Well, I'm not sure where it is right now. Guess that doesn't show I'm very organized. But anyways, so I start with this. This has changed. I mean, obviously it's dependent on every person and who I'm messaging. But I will say something like, I'm not sure if this is something you'd be interested in. But if you've been seeing any of my posts lately, you know that I'm a health and fitness coach. You know that I'm a health and fitness coach or something. And I wanted to let you know that I have a online accountability group starting whatever day. And what do I say? I wish I'll give it to Justin so she can show it to you guys and you can go off of it, or just do what you will. So I have an online accountability group starting August 17th. Is this something you would be interested in? I think I tell them a little bit more about it. Like I said, I'll take a look at it. But I always end it with something along the lines of, is this something you would be interested in? Because then they feel there's a question to answer. They hopefully will not just read your message and not respond, because that doesn't feel good. And they might just say no, I'm not interested. Okay, they responded and you can go from there. And also opening it up with that, I'm not sure if this is something you would be interested in. It kind of gives them permission that it's okay if you're not. And again, it depends on the person, but I've even said at the end of that, like, it's okay if you say no, just let me know either way. Again, that gives them permission to say no, because a lot of people are scared to say no. They don't like to reject someone, but we're okay with no's, so tell them it's okay to say no. But ending with a question is so key for me. Courtney said, if you could share those templates, that would be awesome. As someone who is newer to this, it would help a ton. Yeah, I would love to. And I actually have one for like a template to coaching too that's actually really similar, but I'll share both. And it's, like I said, there's something to go off of and do with it what you want. Yes. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm more than happy to answer anything.
Don't be shy, guys. I'm not echoing.
All right, so I don't really have like a set question formed. I'm just kind of like going with it because I'm 22 and I started this probably close to 3 months ago because my mom, Sherry, who's also in the conversation, she signed me up as a coach because I was moving to Florida. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to get free Shakeology from my parents. Uh-oh. And so she signed me up so I could get discount. So at first, I wasn't like, I want customers. I was just doing it for the discount. And I find that it's almost a struggle because now I'm kind of going back and trying to reach out to old friends and saying like, hey, I decided to become a Beachbody coach, but I feel like that newness has like expired. And I feel like it's harder to approach because I don't want to be like, hey, you know, I signed up as a coach and I had mentioned it before, but I wasn't really doing anything with it, but now I really want to help you. I feel like that's really not attractive.
Well, do you feel like you said it's harder to approach. Do you think because your excitement isn't there that you're not sure like how to word it, or that they don't respond as well, you think?
Well, I feel like it's like people have seen, like, because as soon as I signed up, I posted like an Instagram like, oh, I signed up as a Beachbody coach. I was all excited. Then I wasn't like active.
Right.
And so people have like known about it. So when I have I've messaged like over 70 people just telling them, hey, you know, I started this new journey moving to Florida, and I signed up as a Beachbody coach, but I feel like I can't send that same message to those people that I already know, and I've like, I don't know, this is not making sense now that I'm saying it.
I totally get it, but the other thing too, I think, I mean, I signed up, I've been a coach for about 9 months, and of course I didn't message all the people I've talked to right away either. And it's totally normal to, you know, start off as a discount coach and for years not become a business building coach. So that's okay. That's not at all something that you need to, you know, be embarrassed about or something. I think it could maybe even, not that you would need to elaborate on this from, you know, the initial contact or whatever, but I think it could speak volumes that you weren't a business builder, but now you see the potential and the opportunity, so you want to share it with everyone else. So I think maybe I think seeing my templates will help you, because maybe just a little tweaking with your wording, I don't think it matters at all that you know, you didn't approach them right away or whatever, because your passion is still there. And like I said, I just, you know, today I would message people for the first time, and I've been a coach for 9 months just because I didn't reach out to them yet or we're new friends on Facebook or whatever. So I don't think you have anything to worry about that it'll hold you back at all. So we can just take a look at your wording, and I think it'll be perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions, guys? Shayla, how do you track your contacts? I know you got a system, girl.
I do. It's kind of, I don't know. I was going to say it's complicated, but for me it totally makes sense. So a little short version. What I do is I should just share all these tools with you guys. I have from another girl on our team, I cannot take credit for it, is a daily to-do list. And on there, I make however many people I want to invite. My invites is 10 people a day. Some people have 2, some people have 5, 20, however many you want. So I keep at like the beginning of the month-ish, I go through my Facebook friends and I make a gigantic list of all the people I want to invite that month. Dozens and dozens and dozens of people. So on my daily to-do list, there's my 10 slots. And so when I need to go to my invites, I just go to that master list and pick the next 10 names. So there's no guesswork. I don't have to spend time in like the vortex of Facebook looking for the 10 people to invite. I just go to my list, highlight them off once I invite them, done. Saves so much time. And then how I track them once I send the message is in Excel. I am like not fluent in Excel, so I just simplified it super. I have an Excel document called yeses and one called nos. So I have a column with their name. For like the no, I would say their objection, like when to follow up next, and then like other notes or something that, you know, they have a wedding or whatever else I might want to remember if they're so-and-so's friend or something. So then for the yeses, and obviously these no's turn into yeses, so you got to move people around. The yeses it's pretty much the same, but the date they purchased, you can keep their Shakeology HD shipment date in there if you are someone that tracks that. But so I just have it in those two. It's all electronic, because if I did it all on paper, it would be a disaster. So that's how I do it. I can explain it more if you want me to.
That makes sense. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions, guys? You got her here to pick her brain.
I do. I'm not sure. First of all, thank you, Shayla. I live in Seattle. I live in Bremerton, actually. I live in the Navy base. So Jess was trying to connect us like mid-Super Saturday, and I was like, there are like 200 to 300 people here. I don't know if I can find a short, cute. I mean, there's lots of short, cute, brown-haired girls. So, but we'll have to connect at the next one. Otherwise, I live in Bremerton, so we're already friends on Facebook before this. So
you guys need to connect because you would get along. Like, yes.
I have dogs. I have a dog too, and we hike. So anyway, my question for you, like when you got started, what would you say got you fired up about the business? Because I know some people either get started quickly or some people take a little bit longer, but what would you say helped you get excited about the business, like within your first couple of months of starting?
That's a good question. That's a tough one. I guess I have to give a lot of credit to the team that I'm on, and just the excitement and like the atmosphere on our team page and the camaraderie between all the girls. You have to be positive. Like there's no way that you could not be excited about it. But it so much. You guys probably preach the same thing. I didn't take personal development seriously for months. Like that was just something I totally wrote off. Like I sorry, Jess, but I don't want to read a book. I don't know. But that personal development was huge. And now I'm like a personal development junkie, and it has so much to do with your business. And like I said, putting your oxygen mask on before you help others. Because I was in no place I could fake it till you make it. That was like my motto at the beginning, fake it till I make it, but I don't want to have to fake it. So personal development was so huge. And like I said, it's something so easy to write off, and totally understandable if any of you have written it off. But once you take hold of it, you will see changes big time. I think that's something to keep that spark and ignite that passion if it's not there yet. Just to get in touch with yourself. And like I said, dig deep to like your core why. Be a little kid. Why? But why? But why? Because you need to know why you're here.
I have another question for you too. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always why. I'm even asking myself that. Why? Or when I get stuck, why? So you are in college now, and I honestly would love to have a bunch of college kids on my team, college girls, because I think they do have a lot of energy, and there's so much potential for growth, and they have more options to choose for their career if they want this to be their career. What would you say is something that is enticing from your age, enticing about the opportunity with this business?
Mm-hmm.
Like for adding coaches.
Yeah. Well, a big thing, that's really awesome that you said that, that it's a positive thing. Because of course, I always look at it as a downfall. Like I'm just friends with a bunch of broke college kids who can't afford this, which like I said, I totally get. But the objection I always get is money, because like, I need to go out to the bar. I can't afford that. I don't want to focus on that. But obviously, so it's about finding the right people who are ready to make a commitment like that. But I don't know. I guess it's just kind of go back to the compound effect that it's, I don't know. That's kind of a tough question, I guess. Good question though.
There's no right answer. It's just your perspective.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I tried to, I kind of like focus on one approach at a time. So for a while I was really focusing on the income potential, which like I said, that's people's objection in my audience a lot. So maybe something that could be focused on would be the income potential, that you may not have a lot of money or you're looking for a more substantial income, and look what this can do for you. But of course, if that's not what you want to lead with, they are in their prime and they can be in the best shape of their life at 20 years old, you know? So I guess just like anyone, but there's so many aspects that you could lead with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have another question, and I promise I won't ramble this time. You mentioned that you're a personal development junkie. I just, after, I think it was last Monday, we had a team call, and I finally figured out how to get podcasts on my phone.
Yeah.
And so that's like all I do. But I guess outside of like Shayla Johnson, Christine Breuer, the Team B20 ones, do you have any other ones? Because to be honest, because I'm a live-in nanny, and so I'm like go, 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 go. And so podcast is like easy, especially because like I clean the house a lot, so it's easiest to just like stick my headphones in, listen to
Totally.
podcasts while I'm like sweeping the floor like Cinderella. So
Yeah.
she suggested the other ones.
Yeah, I can look at. It was like the Beachbody nightmare. I had to get a new phone unexpectedly, so I lost all my podcasts because I had to make a new iCloud username, whatever, too. But anyways, I can take a look at my podcasts and again share those with you guys. But one just that comes off the top of my head. Oh, sorry. Here I'm on my phone now. My computer's about to die. Let me switch quick. Ooh, I'm on here twice. Okay.
Oh, we can't hear you, Shayla.
We can't hear you, girl.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw you guys popping up like, oh, I don't think they can hear me. Okay. Anyways, no, my computer has 1% battery, so I had to switch to my phone quick. Anyways, podcast that one I'm always looking to learn, obviously, and I really want to learn about nutrition. So one podcast that I got was, I think it's called Nutrition Genius Radio. And that was a great one, just totally different than your typical personal development, but obviously is still growth. So maybe just look at, like I said, I'll, don't know if you guys heard it or not, but I can take a look at my podcasts and, I mean, I'm a Chalene Johnson, The Chalene Show, like that's what I was going to suggest. But obviously you've already discovered her, but look up something else, maybe not that, not your typical personal development, but like an educational something, like I said, like nutrition. That's just a different path to take. So that's a good one too.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
And Courtney, if you don't have Audible yet, get on Audible.
Oh,
You can listen to all sorts of books.
Yeah, isn't it like after the first month though you have to pay?
Yeah. Well, at least get the free trial. Get yourself a month.
There is, I said I was Frugal Friday girl. There's a little trick to that my brother told me about, and I did it. I think it is after the first month, but if you go to cancel your account in Audible and you pick your reasoning that it's too expensive or something, they'll be like, hey, we can offer you your next 3 months for $6 or something it is. So if you like threaten to cancel, not that you need to threaten something like that, but they give you it for cheaper, and I think you can just keep doing that. So if you're not cool with paying the regular subscription, they're willing to give it to you for cheaper.
Boom. Nice.
Yes.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Well, any other questions that you ladies have for Shayla? I could ask you questions all day, but I know how to find you. So
Okay.
if nobody else has any questions, we can let you go. But I don't want to. No?
If anything else comes up too, you can relay, and I'm more than happy to answer anything.
Will do. Will
Cool.
do. All right. Well, thank you. Oh, let's see. Thank you. Great info. Yes, I agree. Shayla, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us on this call. You're just such an inspiration. And if you guys aren't following her yet, you should be following her because you are. Like, I look forward to seeing your posts. They're very authentically you, and I love it. So it's been.
That means so much. Thank you guys for having me. Like I said, it was like so flattering. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate it. And I know that we all took a lot of notes and gained a lot of good information. So we appreciate it. Round of applause, guys.
Thanks, ladies.
And best of luck with your business. And I'll be in touch, of course. So I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Good night, guys.